If you're the adventurous type who looks at whitewater like this and thinks, wow, that looks like fun, then this is the video for you. This is the Feather River in California's Plumas County. And with spectacular stretches of whitewater like this, it's a favorite destination for whitewater paddlers from all over the country. Perhaps you've already taken some lessons and braved some rapids. Or maybe you're just thinking about it. Either way, it's important to remember that along with the thrills of whitewater paddling come some considerable dangers. So today, we'll be showing you some of the key things you need to know to improve your safety on the river, whether you're in a raft or a kayak. My friend Morgan and her crew are going to be helping us out today, and they're just returning from a run. Let's go see how it went. Hi, Morgan.
Hey, Rick.
How was your run?
Fantastic. Great flows today.
Awesome. I can't wait to get out there. Any unscheduled swims?
Not this time.
We'll be talking about those unscheduled swims a little later.
Ending up in the water can be part of the fun, but you'll stand a better chance of staying in the boat if you get some training. So before you set out on the water, take a class or get instruction from an expert.
So rule number one, never, ever, 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 ever stand up in the river today. Sound good?
You'll find information about finding a class at the end of this video.
Today we'll be talking about the three main areas of paddling safety: personal safety, boat safety, and water safety. First up, personal safety. The essential things you need to know about what to wear and what to carry to be safe on the river.
Okay, Rick, first things first.
Right. A life jacket, also known as a personal flotation device, a PFD. Never, ever go on the water without one.
More than 75% of boater drownings would have been prevented if the victims had been wearing a life jacket. Today's life jackets are colorful, comfortable, and easy to wear.
And when you're choosing your life jacket, check the label and make sure it's the right one for your size, your weight, and your boating activity. This life jacket is also known as a whitewater or swiftwater rescue vest. It's designed to not have any loose straps or loops that could get snagged on trees or other obstacles on the river.
It's a good idea to have a friend help you tighten your life jacket so it's nice and snug under your rib cage. All right, buddy, on your knees.
Okay.
The life jacket should be nice and tight so that it can't be pulled up above the ears.
And there is one more safety device, the whistle. Keep it on your life jacket at all times so that you can sound the alarm in case of an emergency.
All right, so now let's talk about what you're gonna be wearing under your life jacket. So most California rivers are fed by mountain snowpack, so they're nice and cold. So even on a warm day like today, you really have to prepare for cold water.
Your body can go into shock and cramp up suddenly in cold water. Cold water immersion is a serious risk, which is why wearing a life jacket and dressing properly is so important.
So the best option is a dry suit like this, which fastens tightly at your wrists and your neck to keep all the water out. Now on a cold day, you'll want to wear plenty of synthetic layers underneath your dry suit. Now you never want to wear cotton because it loses all thermal qualities when it's wet. Some people like to wear a wetsuit with a splash top.
Okay, let's talk about proper footwear. You can wear closed-toed river shoes like these or river booties. Running shoes are okay, but definitely no open-toe sandals. Bashing your toes on a rock is bad enough, but doing the same thing with your head, if you're not wearing one of these, can really ruin your day. So, just like a life jacket, never go on whitewater without wearing a helmet. The newer designs like this are designed to fit securely, protecting your forehead and not sliding back on your head. Now there's one more piece of equipment you should always have with you on the river, whether you're in a raft or a kayak. It's a flip line.
So this is a short piece of webbing with a locking carabiner that you can wear around your waist. Now it can come in handy in quite a few different situations. One, flipping your capsized raft back over, or assisting other people in the water, or tying your boat to the shore.
Another essential piece of gear is a throw bag. It contains a length of rope and can be used to rescue someone who's taken one of those unscheduled swims. And remember to take care of yourself on the river. Use a high SPF sunblock and drink plenty of water so that you don't become dehydrated. Okay, so let's review the key points of personal safety. Always wear an appropriate life jacket. Dress in non-cotton layers, wetsuit, synthetics, dry suit, and appropriate footwear to protect your toes. Always wear a helmet and carry flip lines and throw bags. Use high SPF sunscreen and bring plenty of water to stay hydrated.
Up next, boat safety, including what to carry and how to keep it from floating away. All right, let's start with kayaks. So as you can see, kayaks come in all different styles. So you want to make sure you choose the right kayak for river conditions and your skill level. But in terms of boat safety, there are a few essential things to remember. First, every kayak should be equipped with float bags. These add buoyancy by displacing water in a partially submerged or flooded boat. Very important, especially if you get separated from it. It's a lot better to retrieve your boat from downriver than from the bottom of the river.
Of course, to prevent your boat from getting swamped in the first place, you have to have an effective spray skirt that fits well and doesn't leak. And just as with your clothing, make sure you have no loose lines that could get tangled around you or objects in the river.
Loose lines are even more of a concern in a raft with multiple paddlers and more gear on board. All your supplies should be packed in a dry bag and securely attached to the raft. All right, Rick, what have you packed for today?
Some of the extra gear we carry in a dry bag include a map of the local area, extra clothing, a first aid kit, including tincture of benzoin, which will help bandages adhere in a wet environment. I bring plenty of extra snacks, things like flashlights, extra duct tape to repair my boat, handyman tool or multi-tool, plenty of sunscreen, and extra keys for the vehicle waiting at takeout.
Looks loose. You got a throw rope handy?
So that just about covers what you want to have with you on the water. But before we get out there, whether you're in a raft or a kayak, you need to remember to check your boat for damage. Make sure your raft is fully inflated so that it doesn't taco or fold up in the water. And check your kayak thoroughly for any holes or cracks.
All right, let's recap what we've learned about boat safety. Always use float bags for kayaks and spray skirts. Tie up loose lines. Carry first aid and emergency supplies. Make sure dry bags are attached securely. And check your boat for damage.
Now we're pretty much ready to get out on the river, but first we need to talk about water safety so that we're prepared to deal with whatever conditions and events we might encounter during the run. You should have already taken a class or received instruction from an expert paddler so that you have a good grasp of paddling technique. As we mentioned before, you can find information on where to find a class at the end of this video. But rule number one is never paddle alone. And if you're a beginner, you need to be with a guide or an experienced paddler who knows the river.
That's right. In fact, knowing the river is essential, whatever your skill level. Various websites have up-to-date information on current river flows. Whitewater guidebooks are also great resources too. You can also check in with local experts about river conditions. And you should also check the local forecast. Flash floods from rain or upstream dam releases can turn a manageable stretch of river into a raging torrent in minutes. California's drought conditions also bring dangerous low water hazards to rafters and kayakers.
Believe it or not, most river accidents occur on shore. Paddlers need to be aware of this and take caution when they're walking on rough terrain. Now in your whitewater training, you'll have learned the terms for river features that you need to be aware of when executing a run. Things like rapids, eddies, holes, and strainers. Having a safe and successful run depends upon recognizing and assessing these hazards and safe areas. That's just as important when you find yourself taking one of those unscheduled swims that we talked about earlier. As soon as you find yourself in the water, you should adopt what we call the swimmer's position. This means floating on your back with your feet up and pointed downstream. This will keep your head above the water and your feet out of danger while you maneuver to a safe spot out of the main flow. And remember, never stand up in moving water.
If you're in a kayak, another essential skill is an Eskimo roll, so you can right yourself immediately if you flip over. As you can imagine, getting swept down a rocky river while you're upside down in your boat is not the best way to enjoy the river.
It's critical that you pay attention to your fellow paddlers. The first person safely through the rapid should eddy out and use voice and hand signals to guide the others. Learning those hand signals is very important because the noise of the river often drowns out other sounds. The golden rule when it comes to running an unfamiliar stretch of river is proceed with caution. Experienced river runners like to say, every rapid is guilty until proven innocent.
Just a couple more things to remember. Before you set out, file a float plan so that folks back home know where you're going and when you plan to return.
And leave your alcoholic beverages behind to enjoy later. There's no place for them on the river.
And whatever you take with you, bring it back. Nobody wants to clean up your trash.
Okay, let's review the main points of water safety. Never paddle alone, know the river, check the flows and check the weather, match your skill to the river, learn to identify river features, learn the Eskimo roll, the swimmer's position, and hand signals. Always file a float plan to communicate what you're going to be doing. Never take alcohol on the river, and when it comes to trash, leave no trace.
You know, Rick and I try and get out on the Feather River every chance we get.
That's right, because we have some of the best whitewater in the world right here in our backyard.
We feel so fortunate to be here in California where the opportunities for whitewater are just limitless.
So if you'd like to enjoy the thrills and occasional spills of whitewater paddling, find a class and get ready for some great adventures.
Check out a list of aquatic centers on the California State Parks Division of Boating and Waterways website.
We're really happy to have been able to share our knowledge and passion with you today, and we wish you many days of safe and happy whitewater paddling.